I think now we should chant Hare Krishna.
Param Vijayate Sri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam. Total world victory of Hare Krishna. My name is Sitapati Das.
And my name is Danna Devi.
And this is Bhagavad-gita 236. Welcome to everyone who's watching live online at this time, and those who are watching in the future. If you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to tag a friend or 10 to spread the good news of the Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God. Bhagavad-gita as it is, by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 2. The contents of the Gita summarized, at name courtesy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Classical name of this chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Text number 36. Avācya-vādāṁś bahūn vadiṣyanti tavāhitāḥ nindantas tava sāmarthyaṁ nindantas tava sāmarthyam tato duḥkhataraṁ nukim. Word for word. avācya,
Unkind.
vādān,
Fabricated words.
cha,
Also.
bahūn,
Many
vadiṣyanti,
will say
tava,
your
ahitāḥ,
enemies
nindantaḥ,
while vilifying
tava,
your
sāmarthyam,
ability.
tataḥ,
Thereafter, more
duḥkhataram,
painful,
nu,
of course.
kim.
What is there?
Okay, let me just make this brighter. Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
Okay, translation. Okay, there's a short translation and purport. Which one do you want to do? You choose translation or purport.
Translation?
Okay, over to
Okay.
you.
Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you?
Purport. Lord Kṛṣṇa was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled-for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Om jnana-timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshu unmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya-jushtam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Lord Kṛṣṇa was astonished. Kutastva kashmalamidam. Where do these impurities come from? Anarya-jushtam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. They're unworthy of the unarya. Asvargyam, they don't lead to the heavenly planets. Akirti, infamous. Ta-da! 36. No changes.
Oh.
Not in the translation or the purport. However, a change here. Tata. What does this say? Here the word tata is used in its comparative sense rather than it's after that sense. So what could be more painful than that? Than that. So it's a comparator. It's a comparator. So if we go to this version here, we see than that, tata. And if we go to this version here, we see thereafter. This is a very useful feature of the Prabhupada.io, mouse over concordance. After, again, among, at this time, because of, beyond, by such, from him, from, there and thereupon. Thereafter, than that. What could be more painful than that? Tata. Duḥkhataram. More painful. No, of course, certainly. What is there? How wonderful, indeed, however. Okay, so let's have a look at Srila Prabhupada's original manuscript. Dive into the nectar. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe questions, commentaries, anything that you want to add or you want us to explore, and feel free to tag a friend or 10. Spread the good news.
100.
100. Yeah, why stop at 10? Text number 36, uncanny. Unkind. So it went from uncanny in the original manuscript to unkind. Vādāns, fabricated words. Lies, fabricated words. Vādān, saying. Okay. Also, bahūn, many. Vadiṣyanti will say, tava, your ahitāḥ, enemies. Nindantas, while vilifying, ninda, like an offense, blasphemy. Tava, your sāmarthyam, ability. Tato, thereafter. Duḥkhataram, more painful. Kim, what is there? No, of course. Your enemies will describe you in so many unkind words while vilifying your ability. What could be the cause of a more painful situation for you? Lord Kṛṣṇa was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled-for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now by so many words he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So, it's a fact, Kṛṣṇa has dispelled the basis of the compassion, right? Now he's talking about what can only be described as, could be described in many ways. But now he's really, people will say that he's like prodding Arjuna's ego.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Had highly esteem your name and fame will think that you left the battlefield out of fear only.
And thus they will consider you to be a coward, a kirti, a kirtam. So he started with Anarya-jushtamasvargyam kirti-karam Arjuna. Anarya, one who knows progressive values of life, or one who knows the value of life, or the progressive values of life.
Progressive, yeah.
Yeah. Edition 1, progressive values of life. Excuse me. Ah.
Late.
Yeah. Edition 2, the value of life. And then, so in the next section, he speaks to the Anarya part about the soul. Then he speaks to the, so if we go back, let's go to the chapter overview and we'll use the second edition one. Second edition overview. Okay, so he talks here the nature of the soul, that which pervades the body, cannot be slain, cannot be cut, etc., etc. Then, considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know there's no better engagement fighting, and then opening the doors to the heavenly planets, right? So here he's spoken first of Anarya-jushtam asvargyam. So then he speaks about the heavenly planets. What you're considering here, these impurities, they're not at all befitting a man, an Aryan. So the first section there is talking about the Aryan conception, one who knows the values of life, he who quits the body like the cats and dogs, versus is a Kṛṣṇa. And then to the Svargya. Happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come. And now a Kirti, infamy. He's speaking to the third one. And then Prabhupada links it back to that verse in his Purport to 236, because he says Kṛṣṇa was astonished at his so-called compassion, described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements up to this point. 36. So you can see that statement took place. Kutastva kajmalamidam vishamesam.
Something about compassion, yeah, it was one.
Anarya-jushtamasvargyam here, 2:2. How have these impurities come upon you? They're not at all befitting a man who, second edition, knows the value of life. First edition, knows the progressive values of life. Progressive values of life.
That's better, yeah.
And then they lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. And so now he's gone through, and this is all an unpacking of that statement down to here. What could be more painful for you? Then, either you will be killed, this is tomorrow's verse, killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you'll conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight.
Don't give it away.
Spoiler alert. Utishta. Yeah. Contemporary application. You know, the other day I was writing something and I wrote about the changes that have been made in the second edition. And someone commented on my post and they said, you know, is this the ego speaking, you know? I'm like, it's all the ego speaking. Because what does ego mean? Ego, do you know what ego is?
Well, depending, there's a false ego and the real ego.
Mm-hmm. So it comes from the Latin word ego, which gets transformed and comes into Spanish as yo. Ego.
Yo.
Yeah,
yo.
yo.
No, yo.
Well, it depends if you're from Argentina, right?
Nah, sorry, Spanish. Castellano, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yo. That's what ego means. Ego. Ego sum. Yo soy.
Yo.
Yeah, it means me. It means I. In English, I. It's the ego. Yeah, that's me speaking. Yeah, that's me speaking.
Mm-hmm.
People think that, you know, to be spiritual means to be like, you know, I don't know what they think, like a nothing. Like, you know, people just, you don't, you know, you have no, well, there's two things here. Because pratishta, the desire for reputation, and like, oh, we need to think about what people think about us. It's said to be the this is a very contradictory part of the teaching, actually. You know, like it says that yashash means fame, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained that one is famous when one is known as a great devotee of Kṛṣṇa. But the desire to be known as a great devotee of Kṛṣṇa, well, you know, Prabhupada would say there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, to a degree, it's kind of like, as long as you have some attachment to reputation and to desire for reputation, that's what you should be known as, a great devotee of Kṛṣṇa.
Yeah.
You know, if Arjuna was, and this is going to be, you know,
No, you're giving away.
yeah, we're jumping ahead. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. Although it says a right, it's in text 47. Let's use the Prabhupada.io because we can do this. This is so good. I love both of them, actually. It's great that they both exist. 247. Adhikaraha. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. See what this word means?
Adhikara, qualification. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
it's translated as a right, but it means a qualification. Arjuna has the qualification to perform his prescribed duty. That's what's appropriate for him. If the argument, if the statement that Kṛṣṇa makes here, what could be more painful for you? If that had no effect on Arjuna, he might have been so much in the tamagun that he's like, I don't care what people think of me. It's tamasic.
I can hear many people about that. I don't care about what people think about me.
Well, they
But actually you do
they actually
care.
do, yeah. But no, I mean, if he really
That's
didn't
very
care,
inauthentic, actually,
yeah, to say that you don't care when you do.
when actually you do. If you don't care, why are you feeling so sorry
Why even
about
mention
yourself? Yeah, sorry about
There's
yourself.
a lot of
and-
things that I don't care about, and you'll never hear me speak about them because I literally don't care about them.
Which ones were those?
Well, you know, you could invent anything. Like, how much does like a cup of sugar cost in Panama City? I literally don't care. You know, like,
Yes, sir.
what's the current temperature on the surface of the moon? Like, I literally don't care. You just won't hear me. But when people like posting on Facebook, I don't care what people think about me anymore. It's like me putting a post up there saying, I don't care about the price of sugar in Panama City right now. Like, they're not indifferent to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm reinforcing your point there.
Okay.
That it's inauthentic.
Very.
Yeah.
What are you ranting about then?
Ranting about?
Because you care.
Yeah, exactly. And so that can be because of tamas. You know, that's inauthentic. You know, yeah, you do care about what people think about you. Arjuna cares about what people think about him. So therefore, Kṛṣṇa speaks to that. Now, because he's going to tell him, because he's correctly diagnosed his qualification. You have the qualification for this. If he was liberated beyond that stage, because Arjuna's playing the part of a sadhaka at a particular stage. If he was beyond that, he'd be like the Python man or Jad Bharat, who literally doesn't care what people think about him. He's an avadhuta. And such a avadhuta means like literally one who doesn't wash.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't care. So that can either be due to tamas or like actual liberation. And in that case, the person doesn't care about their reputation. But as long as you do have an attachment to a reputation, the reputation you should be attached to is to be known as a great devotee of Kṛṣṇa. But at some point you have to give that up.
Then when to give it up?
Because the things that are necessary for your progress in the beginning become an impediment at a later stage. Yeah. Srila Sridhar Maharaj used to say that progress means elimination and acceptance. You must give up the lower and accept the higher. Constantly going forward, going forward, going forward. I was talking with Gora about that, the Gora Prabhu the other day about that. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, because he said, you know, he has devotees saying to him, like, Gora, what happened to you? You know, now you're just like banging on about this whole beef jab, clot shot thing. And I said, you know, there was a time when you became a devotee and people around you were going like, Glenn, what happened to you, you know? Now you've become this crazy Hare Krishna.
Some brainwashed dude.
Yeah. And
chanting
then
some weird mantras.
yeah, shaved your head, moved into this temple, these crazy Hare
Wearing
Krishnas.
sheets as your clothes.
Sleeping on the floor.
I know.
Not eating meat. And then after a while you normalize and then
Not dating ladies. Crazy.
Yeah. And then you normalize on that and then you become part of a society and it's like you're back to normal society life again, being accepted. And at another point you have to cross over that again. And then the ultimate example of that is the gopis, you know, who are in the Kṛṣṇa Leela and they have like their families there and then they have to cross over all social boundaries. Savadamam parityajamam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam savapapebhyo moksha yishyami masujaha. They cross over all social boundaries to leave their homes in the dead of the night and go and dance with Kṛṣṇa in the woods.
I would do that too. Sorry.
If you have
gonna be honest.
If you have the adhikar for that.
I will sneak out of the window.
Yeah. So the necessity of making a courageous stand, because it takes courage and it takes conviction to do this.
Absolutely. Even recognizing you being authentic, it takes courage.
It never ends. You know, you become a you take to Krishna consciousness and it requires being to some degree countercultural. And then you're going to become, and then you're going to become normalized in that, and you're going to be normalized in some society and body of people. But to continue going forward, you will again need to become countercultural because the clarion call will come again, over and over again. Because even in the Kṛṣṇa Leela, the clarion call and the crossing over of the boundary is there. It's a rasa in itself. It's not a one-time event. Like, I did it and now it's done. No, it is a way of being that needs to be continually brought because it's Navayovanam and it's always expanding. It's ananda, the nature of spiritual life.
When you were saying, like, you know, you have to do it again, it will come again, go through that again. The waves, you know, how the waves of the ocean comes and then retracts and comes. And different levels and
Protea, did you say?
the waves of the ocean comes and goes. It's constantly there. Sometimes small waves, sometimes bigger waves, according to what's happening during the day. But anyways, yeah.
So that's the contemporary application.
Irrelevant, but
Become a devotee, become known as a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, and then you'll have to give that up too.
yeah, to stand your ground and to be known for who you are and your values and what you stand for. What do you make life, the meaning of life, and what life means to you? It takes someone that special character to do that. Because what's happening these days is like people are trying to conform and the same thing, yet being unhappy. They have no this courage to say, I want to be who I want to really want to be in life. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the letters. Which we have actually finished.
No way.
Yeah, we've finished these letters. About Swami Bhaktivedanta, about Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj's letters. So this is at the end of the book. It's Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj.
Is that when he was older, I imagine, or when Srila Prabhupada was still alive?
No, this is later. Narayan Maharaj.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away in 2015. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, he's gone. Okay, do you want to read? Do you want me to read?
Maybe you read.
Okay.
You have better eyesight than me. Maybe that one. Yeah, that.
Okay. Srila Swami Maharaj wrote to me every few weeks from 1965 until 1977. I think it is because of the special nature of our association going back to 1947 that he wrote me like this, unique to all others. He established a deep relationship with me, treating me just like his own son, more than his own son. He treated me with more familiarity than he could his Diksha disciples. He is my friend, my very dear friend. He is my Shiksha Guru. I was assisting him in his preaching work. In one letter he wrote, "In all Gaudiya Mats, I think that you are the real Guru Sevak," means the servant of the Guru. So I always correspond with you and I always give my full love and affection to you. He regarded me in this way, having faith and love for me. He was always giving me inspiration, saying, "You are a very good boy, a good devotee. You are a good Guru Sevaka." Letter of 17 May, 1967.
Sweet.
Swami Maharaj encouraged me in all ways. Calling me very near to him, he would share so many things. When he was first in India, when he was preaching in America, and later when he returned to India, he would tell me all that happened, how he preached, and what his realizations were. As he explained in his letter, by allowing me to serve him, he helped me. That was my good fortune. He always told me, "You have helped me, and you should continue to help me. You should come to me more and more." Of course, I am not really helping him. Really, I am not. But I have the privilege to serve him. I always wanted to serve him, then and now. Letters of 30 December 1966, 24 May 1967. We would always address him as Swamiji. He had received the title Bhaktivedanta from the assembled devotees of the Vishva Vaishnava Rajya Sabha. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj then gave him the name Swami as his sannyas name. Swami Goswami, Swami Maharaj. Did you know that? Yeah, that's his sannyasi name. Like
Srila Prabhupada's.
Like Indrajumna Swami, Bhakti Tirtha Swami. His name was Swami. Swami. Yeah. This is one of the 108 authentic sannyas names. Swami means one who controls all his senses. My Guru Deva saw that he was so strong and qualified in this way. We call him Swami with G for showing great respect, for showing special respect. This is not a familiar name. It is for offering greater respect. His disciples call him Srila Prabhupada, but since we are accustomed to calling Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada, to avoid confusion, we call him Srila Swami Maharaj or Swamiji. This is a very respectful, affectionate name. You may notice Swami Maharaj's signatures at the end of several of his letters. I wrote in one letter to him, "Why are you not accepting the name you were given at sannyas? Why do you include AC, which represents your grihastha name?" Avācya-vādāṁ. Or his initiated name was Avācya-vādāṁ. I was speaking out to him, thinking that perhaps this is not right. He told me that in America, in India, and everywhere, he is already known by the name A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. I still did not agree. Madhvacharya, Ramanuja, and Vishnu Swami left their family names, accepting only those names their sannyas Gurudevs had given them. Swamiji tried to satisfy me, but I was not satisfied. Then he began to write to me, signing some of his letters only Bhaktivedanta Swami. Please know that he had affection and care for me. When anything would happen which I could not understand, whether I was right or wrong, I would give a strong position to him in my letters. I think he was remembering this when he signed some of his letters to me.
So sweet.
Most people do not know that he had written so many letters to me. In those early years, we did not worry so much about the letters from Swamiji. Subhananda Brahmachari, Premananda Brahmachari, and other devotees read his Bengali aerograms. There were a few in English also. Most of the later letters from the 1970s were sent from America, New York, California, and later from all over the world. He was writing about how the new centers were going on, how the preaching was, and all these subjects. He wrote explaining so many details. Most of them were written in Bengali by his own hand, and a few he personally typed and signed. They were private letters, not typewritten by any secretary. If anyone says he did not write these letters, they are saying a false thing. Our Premananda Brahmachari sent 10 or 12 original aerograms to one disciple of Gopal Kṛṣṇa Maharaj, Sandipani Muni, to be used as evidence for the court case in Bombay. Soon afterwards, Satsvarup Maharaj asked me to give the whole collection of letters to him for his research for Swami Maharaj's biography. That means the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, which was condensed into Your Ever Well-Wisher.
Yeah.
I promised to show them all. Premananda Prabhu gave them into the hand of one ISKCON Brahmachari, who said he would deliver them to Satsvarup Maharaj. Later, we discovered that the letters had not reached their destination. We do not know the name of that boy who took the letters, but we had faith that he would deliver them. In those days, I had to keep my own files, and we didn't record the letters or make copies. Now they appear to be lost. But all are hoping they can be returned. Swamiji wrote to me, "I will never forget you, but I see that you are forgetting me." Because I had not written for some time in this sweet manner, he was joking. When a Vaishnava meets or talks with another in a loving, affectionate mood, they speak in this way. He says, "You have forgotten me. I have not forgotten, but you have forgotten." He is showing Vaishnava etiquette. It is not that anything was wrong, but he is showing loving affection. Letter of 21 August 1966, 28 September 1966. Okay. Sometimes it seemed in his letters that Swamiji was demanding, "You do this, now you do that." He considered me one of his own. I also speak to all my brahmacharis like this. What you want to do tomorrow, you must do just now, today. And what you want to do today, you should do this very minute. You should do just this minute. Even yesterday it should have been done. He was fully absorbed in serving Kṛṣṇa. He could not delay a second. That is why he wrote to me so forcefully. I am a Buddha Jiva, conditioned soul, so I was not able to run along with him at the speed he was going. I was like Shaktihina. I was weak. I could not go as fast as he. Swamiji was going so quickly. He was writing his letters and telling me like this. Letters of 19 November, 30 December 1966. Swamiji requested me in each letter to do so much service for him. I sent large quantities of his books, deities for his new temples, mridangas and other instruments. Also, I found specific medicines, tilak, and other things he wanted. For some time, I sent him 10 kilos of Mathura Pira, his favorite sweet, every month. We sent many shipments, including large numbers of crates for him, first by train to Howrah Station, then by cargo ship to America. I shipped from many places, including Navadvipa, but mostly from Mathura and Delhi. Some of those freight receipts are still here. See documents A and B. Swamiji wrote some letters concerning Vinod Kumar. He was the son of a Mathuravasi woman who was a disciple of Srila Shralti Maharaj and was very near and dear to us. Vinod Kumara was expert in music. He played mridanga, harmonium, veena, and so many instruments. His voice was very nice. Swamiji explained in one of his letters that if I could not personally go there, then I should send a brahmachari or anyone I could find to help him with singing and kirtan. I told Swamiji I would send this boy, and he was satisfied with the idea that Vinoda would go. His mother also requested me to send her boy to America. Swamiji wanted him to become like a brahmachari with shaven head and dhoti, but unfortunately he would not accept this. We tried to arrange his going in so many ways, but he was not suitable. We have heard that this Vinod Kumar now lives somewhere in Bombay. Letters 19 November 1966, 30 December 1966, and document F. Can you imagine how different his life would have been if he had gone? Like one of those moments, where the clarion call comes and, there's a fork in the road. Scott M. Peck.
He will be part of the history, how he helped Srila Prabhupada in doing kirtan and all of that. He could have been a good teacher of these instruments to different disciples of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
It could have been grand.
I mean, he's part of the history now, but he's a small footnote.
No, it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
In one letter, Swamiji gave me some advice, and I wrote back strongly. This was a small thing, insignificant. Our relationship was like that. Even with love and affection, we would quarrel sometimes, like quarreling amongst friends. One friend may say, "Oh, you are killing me. I am dying," joking somewhat in this way. When there is love, an occurrence may come to separate them, but it can never separate. I don't know whether others will understand this or not. Some of Swamiji's disciples might not reconcile it. They may argue, and they may not hear the explanation properly. People might see that you have published a quarrel as if someone has done something wrong. Our relationship is based on affection, as he said in his letters. Only from the outside there may appear to be a problem, not from the inside. We never thought further about that. See how the continuation of the letters is going on. It may be that our understanding of a few of each other's words was not correct, a misunderstanding, and he is told like this. There was never any problem between us. Letters of 17 May 67, 24 May 67. Chandrasekhara Dasa and his son lived in Delhi. Swamiji wrote to me suggesting that I get their assistance in the work I was doing for him there. I had been supervising the care of Swamiji's rooms, both in Vrindavan at the Radha Damodar temple and at the Radha Kṛṣṇa temple in Chippiwada. When Swamiji was away in America, Chandrasekhara Das sometimes helped with that service. He was helping, but only a very little. Because he was a business type, he and his son didn't have much time to help me manage. There were some difficulties working with him. I never took any account of this, but Swamiji very kindly wrote apologizing to me about that trouble. Letters of 28 September 1966, 15 December 1966, document E. In many of his letters, Swamiji expressed concern that his disciples be properly trained. I remember one incident in particular when he wrote that he was very sorry for Kirtanananda Dasa, who had gone out of order. Swamiji wrote, "I am anxious about what they will do after I leave if they are doing this now. So I am very, very worried. I told Kirtanananda that I knew he was doing some things against my Siddhanta. In order to preach Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he wanted to adopt some things from Christianity. But I said, I don't want this. I want my pure Guru Parampara teachings. I wanted him to go to London, not America. But he defied my order and went to America instead. Swamiji was telling me, if I am alive and they are not obeying me now, I am so worried about what they will do after my departure."
That's a big question. It's a big concern. And obviously, it's obvious to see like what they've been doing.
Some things, yeah. I mean, the book changes themselves that we've been analyzing between the first and the so-called second edition is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Flip that to 0 there, that will switch. Around 1980, 10 or 12 letters were loaned for the ISKCON court case in Bombay. They were very wonderful, detailed letters from Swamiji. The lawyer presented them as prime evidence to the Bombay court. The ISKCON devotees requested me to travel from Mathura to Bombay 8 or so times to testify in Swamiji's favor. One of his sons was trying to sue ISKCON, wanting its material assets.
Oh my gosh.
He claimed that Swamiji was not a real sannyasi because he was a Vaishya and not a Brahmana.
Oh my.
He said that since Swamiji was a businessman, he was entitled to his father's inheritance. I testified that Srila Swami Maharaj took sannyas initiation in our Keshavaji Gaudiya Mat, and that I had performed the fire yagya, and Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, my Guru Deva, had given him the danda and mantras. It was all bona fide. I had to testify as their expert witness that according to the Siddhanta of our line, Swami Maharaj was certainly included in that same line. I gave many arguments from Satkriya Saradipika. It's a book written by Gopal Bhattu Goswami, I think. The Vedas, Upanishads, and Puranas. If anyone from any caste does bhajana, giving up material life and all bogus things to become a servant of Kṛṣṇa, then he is qualified to take sannyas. Thus the case was won by Shastra and the evidence of those letters from Swamiji. Swami Maharaj asked me many times to come with him and his disciples to preach. From very early on, even before he went to the West, he would ask me, but I could not go then. My Guru Maharaj had ordered me to look after the Mathura Mat and to preach and translate books in Hindi. In his letters from America, Swamiji again invited me to assist him. He also wanted other brahmacharis to be sent, but none were suitable at that time. In one letter, Swamiji explained how any sincere Vaishnava could come there and do Hari Kirtana and help continue his preaching. This is because all bona fide Vaishnavas are serving the same mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Letters of 4 October 1965, 14 July 1967, and numerous later ones. In Srila Swami Maharaj's final days, he called for me, and in everyone's presence requested me to assist his disciples in all respects after his disappearance. He is my Shiksha Guru. Therefore, I consider it my duty and religious principle to follow his order by helping all devotees who come to me. In 1936, Swamiji got the order from his Guru Deva to preach in English in the West, and it took some years to happen. So also I am fulfilling Swamiji's order to me now after 20 years. I regret that we do not, so that means 1997. I regret that we do not have all of the original letters from Swami Maharaj to share with everyone, but I feel fortunate to have had that association with him before he was known to ISKCON and the whole world. We spent much time together over many years before most of his disciples were born. Swamiji performed miracles in preaching the message of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only an empowered devotee upon whom Kṛṣṇa bestows his mercy, no common man, could ever preach like he preached. Each country, city, mountain retreat, or dense forest he visited became a sacred place.
You lost. You missed. He established hundreds of temples and preaching centers everywhere. Yeah.
Thank you. Each country, city, mountain retreat, or dense forest he visited became a sacred place. He wrote translations and commentaries on authentic Vaishnava books, which have been further translated into practically every language of the world. He sent those books door to door, even to remote villages, to enlighten all people. We are overjoyed to bear witness to the glory of Swamiji, who was a touchstone, and wherever he went, all iron he touched became gold. Not gold, but Chintamani itself. I have many more memories I want to share with you about his glories, which you may not have heard. I pray that everyone can know and deeply realize the full glory of Srila Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj.
He set up this world.
And then here are the supporting documents from Srila Narayan Maharaj. Shipping documents, receipts, shipping documents. Playing a gong. Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Society, Mathura. Tridandi Swami Bhakti Vedanta Narayana. Glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. ISKCON is a branch of the Gaudiya Math.
We should go back to the Gaudiya Math.
Well, we're ISKCON is part of the Gaudiya Math. It's one of the branches of the tree.
Our branch is breaking down. Sadly.
No, it has spread too far now. Seeds of it are everywhere. It's like unlimited expansion. It's a letter from... If you think that I shall be of great service to you, of which I am fully confident, and in case you like to call me there, kindly arrange to get the passport and the profession.
You could have read in those writings.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Maharaj is accounting. Tridandi Goswami, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And then here's all the English titles published by... So I think this book here, my Shiksha Guru and Priya Bandhu, is his book about Srila Prabhupada. We'll look it up. Okay, 236. So we'll have to have something else other than the letters to read if we're going to add something to it. Here we go. Today's verse. Avācya-vādāṁś bahūn vadiṣyanti tavāhitāḥ nindantas tava sāmarthyam, tato duḥkhataram nukim.
Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you?
Param vijayate Shri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam. Total world victory of Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.